Hey there internet people, and welcome to my first film review. Today's video is going to be about the Avengers, because I saw it a while ago and I really liked it. So this is going to be me reviewing the Avengers. I hope you like it. I'm going to try and make this as spoiler free as possible, by the way, just to point out. One thing I should just point out is over here in the UK and Ireland as well, it's called Avengers Assemble. Now, it's called this because there's actually another TV series called The Avengers, and to avoid copyright reasons they had to change the name. But Avengers Assemble, in my opinion, sounds better, so that's instantly a thumbs up there. And that's what they say, isn't it? Avengers Assemble! Okay, so first off, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with the good bits and move on to the bad bits, and then give my overall conclusion at the end. Kind of like an essay, but through mouth. Okay, so the first thing is the good point. When I saw the trailer for the Avengers the first time, the first trailer, it made me really excited because, as I pointed out in my A to Z video, I am a massive Marvel's fan. I literally like all their films, right? And this one, well, I was really looking forward to it because it had characters from like all the best Marvel films in the same movie. It sounds fantastic, doesn't it? What I like about the film is that it's an ensemble cast. If you don't know what that term means, basically it means like all like famous people like acting in the movie for equal like parts. No one's like the main character, no one's like the least main character. They're all like equally important. Also, these actors kept their original characters, which of course you would expect them to do. But, you know, Robert Downey Jr. plays Tony Stark the same way. And Chris Hemsworth still plays Thor. There's no character changes. You know, it's still them. It's still the characters that you saw in like the previous Marvel films. And they're all in one massive movie. It had everything in it as well. You had like really advanced technology, you had gods, you had aliens, you had monsters, you had... that was it. You had war heroes, there you go. And you had Scarlett Johansson. She's quite... no? Okay. And this is probably one of the best things about the movie. It was funny. Alright? It was a funny film. Anyone who's seen Avengers Assemble will have known of the funny that was put into it. It is a very funny film, and you know, I've seen all the previous Avengers films, and there were funny scenes. For example, in the Incredible Hulk, there was the mad taxi driver. Remember that? And there is that scene in Iron Man where Tony Stark is getting out of his Iron Man suit, and Pepper walks in, and he says, what did he say? He says, believe me, this is not the worst you've seen me doing, that's what he says. I'm actually going to tell you a top 5 of the funny Avengers stuff. Coming in at number 5. One of the biggest scenes in the movie is when one of the main characters dies. Tragically, I'm not going to tell who. It wasn't a superhero, it was just a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he had like a massive gun who he was pointing at Loki, the main villain, and he was basically saying, even I don't know what this gun does. Maybe we can find out together. And he gets stabbed in the back. Quite brutal actually. And he's basically sitting there with, you know, he's sitting against the wall, just, you know, bleeding and shit. And Loki comes over. He's still holding the gun, but you know, Loki, well, you get where this is going. Loki manages, he can't do anything, then suddenly he secretly blasts it. Loki goes flying, and like in one of like his dying words, he says, "No, that's what happened." So that's what happens. You know. All right, that's number 5. Number 4 is when the Avengers first properly meet, and they're in S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ, sitting at that table. And Thor is still protective of his brother, and he actually says, Loki is still an Asgardian. He is still my brother. He killed 80 people in 2 days. He is adopted. He just suddenly becomes like protected for one moment. So that is just genius. Coming in at number 3. This scene is when Thor first confronts his brother. He basically takes Loki from the SHIELD aircraft plane and he brings him down to Earth so he can properly confront him, and he basically tries to convince him to come home, and Loki says, "I have none." That isn't the funny bit, obviously, but it's what happens after that's funny. Because Thor stole Loki, Iron Man and Captain America go after him. There's a scene when he's confronting his brother, go "Now listen well, brother." Iron Man comes in, brings him, and he's like a flash of an eye, he's gone. Thor's gone. He's like that, and that isn't the funny bit. But remember that Thor's line before he got taken away was, "You listen well, brother." After that happens, Loki just says, "I'm listening." At number 2. This might surprise some people who've seen the Avengers because it was the funniest film of the whole movie, and I agree, it's still a very funny scene. It's when Hulk is standing off against Loki. How come Loki's being involved in all the scenes? Oh, okay. Loki's being involved in all the funny scenes apparently. Hulk is standing off against Loki, and they're both and Loki's been kind of thrown in a way. He's on the ground. He stands up and Hulk's running towards him, and Loki says, "Enough! I am a god, you dull creature. I will not be bullied by..." The Hulk takes his arms. He's interrupted him. Just slam him into the ground in separate places, and after that, Hulk just walks away and goes, "Puny god," and you can hear Loki just quietly going. He's starting to cry. Ow, I hurt my hand. But this is the big one, coming in at number 1. Alright, this is during the main climactic scene when the Avengers are fighting off the aliens. I can't remember how the name's pronounced. There's the scene when they're fighting off an alien battleship. And they succeeded. They've managed to bring it to the ground, and it's dead. The creature's dead. Alright, there's no way it's getting up. And Hulk and Thor were the one that took him down. They're just standing on top of him, just panting, 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 panting. Okay, now imagine I'm the Hulk, which I know is difficult to imagine, but just imagine it. Should I take my shirt off to make it more realistic? No. Imagine I'm the Hulk and the Thor's over here somewhere. This is what happens. He randomly punches him, and I couldn't stop laughing at that scene. It was so incredibly funny. It was just... I watched it the other day on YouTube, and it's still really funny. So, yeah. Now that's the good stuff, and we've now moved on to the slightly bad stuff. The actor who originally played the Bruce Banner in the Bruce Banner movie was Edward Norton. Now, obviously some of you guys may know that he didn't return to play Bruce Banner in this movie because of certain reasons. So he got someone else to do it. I can't remember the actor's name. I really should have found out before I started doing this, but hey, I don't care. The guy did a pretty good job. I will say that, but still wasn't the same guy as before, though, was it? Now I know I just did a top 5 of how funny it was and stuff, but in the end, really, I mean, it's supposed to be a superhero film. There are loads of serious moments and action-packed moments. Do you really want to make it funny? I mean, it was blended in well together, but was it the right thing to do? If you know what I'm getting at? It was a good film. It was funny and stuff, but was it the right thing to do? So my final thoughts about the Avengers: it is a brilliant movie. I could see why it's been so record-breaking and stuff. The characters are brilliant. The humour is great. And if you haven't seen it yet, go lose your Avengers virginity now, because it's a great film. I'm definitely going to buy a DVD or Blu-ray when it comes out, and also I'll be seeing the sequel, because there will be a sequel, and hopefully there will be the other Avengers. Alright? People who don't know, there are loads of different characters in the Avengers. One thing I'd like to point out, there is a beautiful shot when, you know, it's the final scene when all the Avengers are like fighting off against each other. You know, because they had their problems in the past scenes, they don't really work together, and they almost start, and some of them start fighting each other, which is, you know, whatever, you know. However, there is one scene which is just brilliant and beautiful and kick-ass. There is a scene when all the team are fighting off against the army, and they work together so brilliantly. There's like a massive shot of like you see Iron Man flying down and helping out Captain America. Then he goes off to help Thor, and you know, same camera shot. And he goes off to help like Black Widow or something. And he goes off to fight to help Hulk, and he goes off to help out. You know, brilliant film. Good. Brilliant film. Out of 10, I give it a rating of 8 because it was a really good film and I liked it. Comment question for today's video: what did you think about the Avengers if you've seen it? So guys, that's it for today's video. Hope you subscribe, comment, rate and all that stuff. Follow me on Twitter, link in description. And I will see you in the future. Bye.
Alma pal, comment, rate and subscribe. Bitch! Ah, that's really nice, thank you. F off!
Tony Stark plays... Start again. And Chris Hemsworth still plays...